You know that electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. Therefore, consider a charge which is at rest. Now, what is a test charge? The test charge which tests the effect of the source charge. Yes, it can be a Q, that is capital Q or small q. The charge which is used to test this effect of source charge is known as test charge. Hello everyone, I am Maitri, Faculty of Physics, Vidyashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. I welcome you all to the session 2. In the previous session, you have learned about the charges, properties of charges, force between the charges using the Coulomb's law and the Coulomb's law in vector form. And I have highlighted the questions which you have to practice every day. I think you are practicing that questions, right? Yes. We will begin this session with the discussion on force between multiple charges. To understand this force between the multiple charges, consider a stationary charge Q. And on this charge, there are number of forces acting on this charge. Let us consider that forces as F1, F2, F3, F4. These are the forces due to another charges on this charge Q. Now, what is the total force on this charge Q? The total force on this charge Q is given by principle of superposition. What the principle of superposition states? The total force on this charge is equal to vector sum of. You see the statement here, vector sum of all the forces. So, whenever there are number of forces, to add that all the forces, you have to consider that forces in vector form. That is the superposition principle. According to that, vector force F1, vector force F2 and vector force F3 plus vector force F4 all should be added to get total force on the charge Q. So, this is the total force on the charge Q. If n number of charges are in this system and due to that n number of charge, there are forces, n number of forces on the charge, then the total force on this charge according to the principle of superposition is given by the same and it will be continued up to n number of forces. And you know that how to represent the force using the Coulomb's law in vector form. So let us write that in vector form. So every force is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1, Q2 or any other charge number, then you have to change this number Q1, Q2 instead of it might be Q2, Q3 or Q4, Q5. According to the charges, you have to consider the number and the distance between the charge r square, and this force direction is given by the unit vector r cap. For every force, you have to use this equation. Yes, this is all about the force between the multiple charge. So, remember the principle of superposition to calculate the force due to multiple charge on a charge. This is very important because while solving the problems in this chapter, we have to use this concept. Yes, next. The next very important concept is electric field. What is an electric field? Let us know this now by considering a charge Q, which is a stationary charge, because this chapter comes under the branch which is electrostatics. You know that electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the charges at rest. Therefore, consider a charge which is at rest. Now, the space around this charge. In the space, let us bring a charge Q. When I bring the charge in this space, this charge experiences a force. That force experienced by this charge is nothing but electric field. So, to calculate the strength of the electric field, you have to use this equation. So, what is the equation? E is equal to F by Q, where E is electric field and F is the force experienced by the charge which is placed in that space. So, the space around the charge is nothing but electric field, whose strength is calculated by the equation E is equal to F by Q. And remember, this E is a vector quantity. Therefore, you have to represent the equation in vector form, how I have represented here. The next thing is SI unit of electric field. Here we have the equation. E is equal to F by Q. What is the SI unit of force? The SI unit of force is Newton and the unit of charge is Coulomb. Therefore, the SI unit of electric field is Newton per Coulomb or volt per meter. Thus, volt per meter you learn in the next chapter. Now, you have to keep in mind Newton per Coulomb, and we will discuss this volt per meter in the next chapter. Yes, and next. Now, you know what is electric field. Consider a system of two charges, Q1 and Q2. Here, Q1 is a source charge and Q2 is a test charge. Between these two charges, the distance is R. Now, what is the electric field produced by this Q1? To calculate that, we have the formula E is equal to F by Q, where Q is the test charge and here we have considered it as Q2. And what is the force equation according to Coulomb's law? It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1, Q2, and distance between them is R square, and we have Q2 in the denominator, which is carried same to the next step, and Q2 gets cancelled. Therefore, what we have is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 by R square. So, what is Q1 here? Q1 is the source charge. And you know that electric field is a vector quantity. So, we have to represent a unit vector which gives the direction of the electric field. Here, I have used the R cap as a unit vector. So, we have two expressions for the electric field. One is F by Q, or by substituting the force, we have the expression for the electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 by R square, where Q1 is a source charge. So, in electric field expression, you have to use source charge, not the test charge. Yes, next, let us discuss the electric field due to a system of charges. For that, let us consider a system where we have Q1, Q2, so on up to n charges. And in this system, every charge produces electric field, and in this electric field, we consider a unit positive charge. On this unit positive charge, due to the system of charges, there are number of electric field. So, how to calculate the total electric field on this unit positive charge or any charge? To calculate that, we have to use superposition principle. According to superposition principle, the total electric field in vector is equal to electric field due to charge 1 and electric field due to charge 2, sum of all the electric field in vector form gives the total charge. So, I am writing in vector form. Next, electric field due to charge 3 and we have number of electric field. Therefore, so on electric field due to n charge. So, this is the electric field, total electric field on the charge. Yes. Now, let us know how to represent this electric field. The electric field is represented by electric field line, which is a path in an electric field, which might be a straight or curved such that the tangent to it at any point gives the direction of electric field at that point, as in this picture. Now look at this picture. In this picture, we have a positive charge and negative charge. From the positive charge, a line is drawn, which is a curved line towards the negative charge. This line represents the electric field. And the tangent drawn to this line gives the direction of electric field. So, this line is nothing but electric field line, which is a path of electric field. Now, what is the direction of electric field for positive charge? Let us know this by drawing. So, consider a positive charge. Around this, you know that there is electric field because every charge which is stationary produces electric field, and this positive charge electric field direction is radially outward. Yes, by drawing the arrow outward to this line, you represent the direction of electric field due to single positive charge. And you might have a question like this. Sketch the electric field line if Q is greater than 0. A question like sketch electric field line if Q is greater than 0. Q is greater than 0 is nothing but single positive charge. For that, you have to draw the electric field line. So, consider a positive charge and show the electric field line where arrows are outward. So, this represents the electric field lines around the single positive charge which are radially outward. Next, let us draw the electric field lines pattern around a single negative charge which are radially inward. Consider a isolated negative charge. For this, the electric field lines are radially inward. Yes, draw the arrows towards the negative charge to represent the electric field lines radially inward. If question is like sketch electric field line for Q is less than 0, then this is the pattern where Q is less than 0 represents negative charge. Negative charge. So, next charges, same charge, that is 2 positive charges. For 2 positive charges, what will be the electric field lines pattern? Let us know it by drawing. So, yes, you know that for a positive charge, the electric field line is radially outward. Yes, let me draw radially outward. And here we have 2 positive charges, like charges. Between them, the force is repulsive. The nature of force is repulsive. Therefore, by drawing like this, means away from each other, this represents that the force between them is repulsive. Same way, let us consider a negative charge and a positive charge. Positive charge, negative charge. For a positive charge, the electric field line is outward, and for a negative charge, the electric field line is inward. Yes, inward. And between this unlike charges, the nature of force is attractive. Therefore, from positive charge, the line goes into the negative charge. This represents that there is attraction between the positive charge and negative charge. So, you have to draw lines from positive charge towards the negative charge, and arrow should be from positive charge towards the negative charge. So from this picture, we have some points like, look at this arrow, that is the electric field is starting from positive charge and it is ending on negative charge. So electric field line starts from positive charge and they end on negative charge. And look at the lines. I didn't give any break here. So electric field lines are continuous curves without any break. And the third point what we observe from this picture is that near the charge, I consider an area. In that area, look at the number of lines. The number of lines are more. But when I consider away from this charge and the same area, what we observe is the number of lines in that area will be less. So, where the number of lines are more, there the strength of electric field is greater. And where the number of lines are less, there the strength of electric field is weak. So, the electric field lines are more when they are near the charge. Therefore, the electric field strength is more or stronger at the charge or near the charge, and it is weak away from the charge. And next what we observe here is two lines or number of lines. Look at these lines. They are not crossing each other. So if they cross, what happens? There will be two directions for the electric field, which is not a possible condition. So what I all mentioned this point are the properties of electric field lines. So first property of electric field line is that electric field lines start from positive charge and end on negative charge. The second property is field lines are continuous curve without any breaks. And the third point is the tangent drawn to the electric field lines represents the direction of electric field. The fourth point is two field lines never cross each other. If they cross each other, and electric field will have two directions which is not possible. The fifth point is electric field lines do not form closed loop. This you might have observed in the previous picture. While drawing the electric field line for a charge, we started from outside the circle of this charge. We didn't draw into the circle. Why? Because the electric field do not form closed loop. The next point is electric field lines are always normal to the surface of the charged conductor. And the seventh point is the electric field is stronger near a charge and electric field is weak when away from the charge. These are the properties of electric field lines which you have for 3 mark. So you have to compulsorily practice this properties. You can expect this question which is for 3 marks. So any 3 properties enough. So which are easy for you? Remember that properties of electric field lines. So I conclude this session. In this session, we have covered all about the electric field. And in the next session, let us know what is a dipole. Thank you.